We should listen to God even when it's being said seems wrong. We should listen to God even when what's being said seems wrong, especially when it seems wrong. If you think you are right about everything, who needs to talk with God? Go ahead and act on all that you know. But notice that you've been doing that since time began, and look at what shape the world is in. Clearly, you've missed something. Obviously, there's something you don't understand. That which you do understand must seem right to you, because right is a term you use to designate something with which you agree. What you've missed will therefore appear at first to be wrong. At first. But then when you understand it, then it's right because you believe it. That which you do understand must seem right to you, because right is the term you use to designate something with which you agree. What you've missed will therefore appear at first to be wrong. The only way to move forward on this is to ask yourself, what would happen if everything I thought was wrong was actually right? Every great scientist knows about this. When what a scientist does is not working, a scientist sets aside all of the assumptions and starts over. All great discoveries have been made from a willingness and ability to not be right. And that's what's needed here. You cannot know God until you stop telling yourself that you already know God. You cannot hear God until you stop thinking that you've already heard God. So what you think you've heard may not have been God. I cannot tell you my truth until you stop telling me yours. Keep in mind, we just finished page 7. This feels like we're getting into something really special. Page 8. I mean, we are far from finished, and there are many more markings. I get a little intense sometimes in marking this book, and I think that this is going to be a lot of fun. We'll be able to grasp a lot more as we move into further pages. This book was quite profound to me the first time I read it, and I know it's bound to be profound again. I can't wait to put more markings in these pages. I should probably write today's date that I started reading it again. I wrote something in here on the first blank page, and I didn't read the preface. I haven't signed it. remember reading this at the Utah Capitol building to someone, and they took a picture of it because it was really profound to them, and it was profound to me too, and it felt like these are I'm holding this pen and I'm writing this, but it doesn't feel like it's me. It feels like Neil must have felt writing the answers to his own questions. Conversations with God, an uncommon dialogue. You get to choose to change, but I'm going to ask you to, because I love you. But of course, I'll love you either and all choices you make. That goes for everyone who reads this book and many others who teach its truth. And you can feel that love. I've already said those 2 words. It doesn't matter how long it takes for you to understand, but this life is for setting records. So I dare you, if you can. I crossed out if, because you can. The only word that's missing is joy. That's the first time I actually noticed that. I mean, when I was writing this, I wasn't thinking about those 3 words, and I think I wrote this much later, even as I was finishing the book, had to write my own final message, you know? Let's continue on page 8, I think is where we are. I cannot tell you my truth until you stop telling me yours. But my truth about God comes from you. Who said so? Others? What others? So this is confusing because the way it's written is Neil asks a question, God answers. So, Neil, but my truth about God comes from you. God, who said so? Neil, others. God, what others? Neil, leaders, ministers, rabbis, priests, books, the Bible, for heaven's sake. The Bible, for heaven's sake. Books and books and books. Religious teachings and truths. God. Those are not authoritative sources. Remember, these are words we're talking about here. And like, there's 2 kinds of words, just like speak and written. And here we have something that we can all relate to and talk about and communicate what's written because it's unchanging. But when we speak something, we can have a change in perspective in the next moment and believe something different. Those aren't authoritative sources. They aren't? No. What is? Listen to your feelings. Listen to your highest thoughts. Listen to your experience. Whenever any one of these differ from what you've been told by your teachers or read in your books, forget the words. Words are the least reliable purveyor of truth. Words are the least reliable purveyor of truth. Especially past words is what I wrote. Because, I mean, What year was this book even published? 1995? It's 20... Neil Donald Walsh, Central Point, Oregon, Christmas, 1994. So, how old was I? I'm 32. It's 2020. December. This book is going to come through a little bit differently than it did in 1994 and 5. This video holds a lot of beliefs of metaphysical and magical beliefs and feelings and experiences. There is so much I want to say to you, so much I want to ask. I don't know where to begin. That's Neil. For instance, why is it that you do not reveal yourself if there really is God and you are it? Why do you not reveal yourself in a way we can all understand God? I have done so over and over again. I am doing so again right now. The thing I like about this is a way that we can all understand. Like, there's one way that everyone is going to get some particular belief or one image. But at least we have these words, and like we have right now. And so if we take this experience now for what it is, we can recognize it as God. No, I mean by a method of revelation that is incontrovertible, that cannot be denied. God says, such as appearing right now before my eyes. God, I am doing so right now. Where? Everywhere you look. In this book, for example. Everywhere you look. Neil. No, I mean in an incontrovertible way. In a way no man could deny. It's like, what do you think, like, what are you picturing right now? NDW. What way would that be? In what form or shape would you have me appear? I wrote, a dragon? Neil, in the form or shape that you actually have? That would be impossible, for I have no form or shape you understand. I could not adopt a form or shape that you could understand, but then everyone would assume that what they have seen is the one and only form and shape of God, rather than a form or shape of God, one of many. People believe I am what they see me as, rather than what they do not see. This is feeling a little bit like opposite day, and I believe this is going to become a theme, because something about the opposite day thing just keeps ringing in my ear. It's the divine dichotomy. But like, what? So you see this one form. Oh yeah, this is God. But God has many forms, especially if each of us are having experiences as if we're God, or believing we are God, or being God. I like to just take out more and more letters and words, and when you do that, sometimes you can come to a clearer meaning. And I think that less is more, and that truth is found when we can reduce to one. So, like, what I'm picturing here is a dragon. I don't know what Neil is picturing. Maybe he's picturing the red robes on Jesus Christ. He's Catholic. Or recovering Catholic. I'm not really sure which. I don't know this guy personally. God says, that would be impossible. For I have no form or shape, you understand. I could not adopt a form or shape that you could understand. But then everyone would assume that what they have seen is the one and only form and shape of God, rather than a form or shape of God, one of many. People believe I am what they see me as, rather than what they do not see. But I am the great unseen, not what I cause myself to be in